Hey everyone, welcome to the stream today. I'm gonna redo my intro, I guess. Hey Ronage, today I'm gonna be doing a demo impressions and analysis video that I'm gonna stream, and I will upload a copy to YouTube. I went and reset my router. Hopefully that was the problem all along, and we'll be able to actually watch this video and not have it get interrupted or drop or lag or anything like that. So today Capcom did an official please don't take down my video, Capcom, an official video demo for Monster Hunter World. They showed the trailer at E3. There's a private demo at E3. Someone did leak the footage of the E3 demo, and I saw that and it was awesome, even though it was on like a tiny crappy camera. But Capcom decided to do the demo as a stream. So I watched it earlier. They did a bit of an intro where they showed the trailer, they talked about the game. I obviously don't speak or understand Japanese, so I couldn't, parse it exactly what they were saying, but it's Monster Hunter. You get what they're talking about. So, in the demo, you talk to the guildie here. So we get, first notable thing is another cute guildie. So it's a Monster Hunter game. You have a cute girl introducing you to the world. The demo at E3 was fully voiced in English. So here's the map for the new area they showed off. You start down here. I guess this would be the equivalent of an area 1, and then you have like 2, 3, or no, they have the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have an 11 up here. I don't even know where 5 would be in this map. You can see these are the border lines. This defines the area. These short hallways are obviously the areas between that. And then the thing that happens in this game is there's no loading screen. So we'll just start this up. There's no loading screen. Ah, shit. I had something in my eye just now. Sorry. Excuse me. Yes, Ronage, this is going to come out on PC, but it's going to come out on PC after the 2 console releases. And I think it's going to have a simultaneous release on PS4 and Xbox One. I'm probably going to get a PS4 specifically for this game. So here, they just showed off that wheel, and that wheel is a quick access for your items. So you press R3, basically press down on the stick, and you can cycle through items. You just saw him eat a steak. You can still do, it looks like they have it set to the plus and minus on the directional pad to cycle through your pack in the corner. Maps down here, which is a little weird. This is commands of some kind. I think that's the command you can do. So what happens in this game, I'm really hyped for this game too. So hyped, I'm just going to talk about this demo for the 25 minutes it's up. You see right here, he's collecting sort of like evidence. He's collecting samples to track the big monster they're hunting. So here's Great Jagras. It looks like it's going to be Kavo's spirit animal. That big old frog just ate that Aptonoth whole. Well, he's actually like a bearded lizard, not a frog. But hey, the shark frog was the other big old fatty. So one of the new things in this game is they're putting ecology into it more so than the previous games. So on this map, Jagras is like the low-end monster. What's the middle one called? It's like Antonoth or something like that is the middle one, the one that they're hunting right now. And then Rathalos is considered the like apex predator of this zone. So this guy shows up, he eats the Aptonoth and he just vomits it up for his kids. So a couple things happened while he was running up here. You saw him run over and grab honey and then pick up a flower. And now he's hiding in a bush. In this game, your gathering is not, here's a node, I'm going to go up and smack the node a couple times and have these stacks of items. In this game, the item is out in the open, and you run up and just pluck it. So he gathered up the sample for his bugs to go track the monster more for him. That's what he did right there. So you saw him pluck some honey and get some honey. You saw him pick a flower. He got that flower in his inventory. You see him go up and scrape the sample off the wall. It went to his tracky bug things, and he's gonna do it again here. Pick up sample. Bugs are gonna show him where the monster is. Now, when I was watching this earlier, I was like put off a little bit because there's no load screen. Like, he went from area 1 over to area 3 on the map, and now he's going into area 2, I think it was. No load screens. It's amazing there are no load screens. So the other thing is stealthing. So there's a cooldown on it. I think if a monster sees you and you run into like a bush, you can't hide. But if the monster's unaware of you and you hide in the bush, they can't see you, they can't spot you, so you can stealth. But there's also a ghillie suit, a ghillie mantle, I think they called it, where you can throw the bush over yourself, the leaves over yourself, and you can stealth like that. So yeah, he found this big monster, he's found this target, so he's gonna run him outside. It's got all the stuff that like Monster Hunter 4 and Generations had, so you're very mobile, you can run around a lot. He's gonna smack her on the little jaggers here. Okay, so you saw damage numbers there? That can be turned off. They're putting damage numbers in the game, but they're not that intrusive to me. They're tiny and they'll help new people with the game. So you see he knocked a thing off that bridge and it dropped on the monster, so the environment's going to be important in this game too. More so than even previous generations when you had the jump attacks and mount attacks and stuff. Also, it seems like they're bringing it down to earth in terms of the like hit effects, the like big like effects. I like it more like this, honestly. It reminds me of the older game of like Tri, and even previous games where the hit effect wasn't like some giant X. So here we have Anjanath. Yeah, Anjanath. Grabbing up the Jagras and just absolutely ragdolling it around just to establish his dominance. And whack! That was what, 368 damage? When he hits the Anjanath, you'll see him do like 36. 1, 2, 10, 30, like there's 20 I think right there. The other thing is a lot of the weapons, obviously there are no hunter arts in this game, but a lot of the weapons have a lot of moves now. So you'll see him do different moves with the greatsword, and it seems like they're making everything just work a little smoother, which I like. You'll see that especially when we get up to the Rathlos section of the demo. So he just did something with that plant there, I don't know what. This is him trying to stealth in the bush. Not gonna work, puny human. So there he is, eating while moving. That's gonna be important, because I think Anjanath's gonna run off here. It's gonna run off soon. So yeah, you see that little shoulder tackle there? Then he did the big swing, and then he sort of prepped his weapon for another attack, but he didn't do an attack. So you roll, you do this little dash attack, he does a big swing. Oh, I think that's just the recovery animation. He has like the weapon on his shoulder. In the demo I saw from E3, he switches to a longsword, and they pulled in a bow user, a bowgun user, and a sword and shield. In this, they'll pull in he switches to the longsword, but they'll pull in a hammer, a lance, and a bow, I think. No, it's a bowgun, a lance, and the bow. So yeah, Anjanath's running off. This is where like he's gonna really wail on the thing, and it gets angry. And this is sort of the key thing to like the yeah. So he got his mount. So this is where mounting is a little more complicated, which I do like too. So we're getting the quick time events. So like you have hold R2, mash triangle. Wiggle the stick, you can hop on to a different part, mash triangle. So Anjanath ran into a tree there, and the tree had vines on it. So he knocked the tree over, but got tangled in the vines. Still mashing triangle. Oh, here comes the big attack. So it's hold triangle, bam! So now you have a finisher move that actually knocks things down. Oh yeah, Ronage. This game looks super smooth and super nice. So you can see him going through some greatsword combos there. Weapon is still not like sword and shield combo-y or even longsword combo-y, but it looks like they added some more moves in. I'm not a greatsword user, so I can't really comment on that as much. So now Angeloth's angry. Here is the point I was trying to make earlier before I get interrupted by the mount. Angeloth being angry, and I think all monsters that get angry at you, you can't escape them. You can't zone and then go heal. You can't run away and hide and heal. You end up running to another zone. There's no loading screen border anymore. Enraged monsters just chase you. So he's running them up. He's running them up the map because we're gonna go up and meet a new friend, an old friend who is essentially a new friend with the way he looks. Yeah, Ronage. Try is like Tinker Toys compared to this game. I'd even say Generations is like Tinker Toys compared to this game. Except running up this big vine. Again, the game is very, very smooth and flowy. It looks awesome. So he sees a little thing on the ceiling. He shoots his slinger, I think they call him. The grappling hook, so he can jump up here. Now this would be a place where you could stop and heal, probably. But yeah, if you look down here, Angeloth is still after him, coming up the hill, on the other side. There's one other little thing. If you look, his health bar and his stamina bar are open right now. At the very start of the demo, they were like little diamonds. And when he encountered the large monster, they expanded out. And I think what's going to happen is while you're not in combat, you might have infinite stamina, just for running around and exploring. So here's Rathalos. Here's Mr. PS1 Animations. However, dives on Angeloth, doesn't care about the hunter, immediately just starts clawing it, burning it, lifts him up, drops his ass on the ground. Now if you look, I mentioned, PS1 animations, because it's Rathalos. He's going to have, Rathalos animations. But everything he does now just flows much better. So it's no longer like... It's no longer like... You can see it here. You see him like... He does this, like... whoosh when he takes off. It's no longer just take off. And right there, he turns around and does the fire. Turns around and does the swipe. There's no more in the animations like the monster stops, quarter turns, attacks. Quarter turns, attacks. The attacks look like they're part of all the movements. And I really, really like the way that looks. So there's a Rathalos Claw Dive. And Rathalos looks like he's keeping to the skies as usual. Big fire burst. Claw Dive. And if you look, the Claw Dive, he does it, but it doesn't stop and then pull back. He just does it. Of course, knocking the monster out of the air. Basically looks the same. As is deploying barrel bombs, where you just pick the barrel bomb out of your pocket and lay it. Oh yeah, but this is part of the demo they showed off. As you can see, he broke away the wall, which was holding this like cistern of water, and broke that out, knocked the monster off the cliff, and he gets to catch himself with his grappling hook. And now Rathalos is on the ground in his struggle bus animation. In the demo I saw from E3, both monsters were actually still up top. Like, Angeloth did not run away. And Angeloth and Rathalos are both knocked off the mountain. So what he did when he got to the top, I don't remember if I saw it, but he sent off his flare. So in this game you can still do your prep work where you get in the gathering hall, you prep up, and then you go. But the new thing now is, if you're soloing a monster, and you're having trouble, or you just want to call people in to do multiplayer, you can send up a flare, and that'll put out an alert to whatever the game servers are that, hey, this guy needs help, you can join him for this quest immediately. Oh yeah, we do have a hammer user. I thought it was a bow. And you can see lances in green. Oh yeah, it is a bow is in yellow, hammer's on red. Where's that a bow gun? So you got to mount on Rathlos. Same thing's gonna happen. He's gonna ride the Rathlos, and it'll tell you what button presses you need to input to keep the mount going. I don't think there's a mount bar. You see though like the map is sort of pinging and glowing, and I don't know what that means. I don't know. They're not putting in that blue the mount bar anymore, so it may just be you have to just mount until you're done, so you have to keep track of that. Yep. So here's the hammer. Not at the head. Golf's big ol' tornado swing just flows right into that triple pound. Ledges, am I right? Yeah, it looks basically the same as the hammer has always looked. Just flows a little easier. Hey, Doodoo 850. What days are Grim Dawn days? Monday, definitely. Probably gonna play it more often on Fridays. Pretty much Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as it stands are gonna be random other games. I played Grim Dawn a lot a few months ago on stream, but I can't do it anymore right now. It's just, there's not enough game to play presently. So we're doing this like impressions overview thing of this demo, and then we're gonna jump into, I think, Shovel Knight. Okay, so the Great Sword guy's heading back to camp. And here's another big thing I wanted to point out. So he shows the map off more, and you can kind of see where the areas are divided up. And it's like there's a quick movement system. So I don't think they're going to be like farcasters anymore. So he quick moves back to camp and goes in the tent here. So the hunter just sits down and has a little cup of tea. Yeah, we need that Grim Dawn DLC soon. So right here, you have two hunters in camp. The guy in yellow and the primary hunter we had. And what's going on here is blue guy is switching over to a longsword. Yellow guy is switching to a bowgun. And you can also see that the palicos are back, but the prowler mode is not. So you have your cats, and you can equip your cats while you're in the field, but you don't have the option to play as a cat. Fast travel again. That's pretty helpful. Oh, it looks like there might have been multiple camps. That's interesting. So I'm kind of hoping that all these maps are so big you actually have that justified. And no word yet, obviously, on number of maps. So he's climbing through this this brush, which is pretty cool. They're following the fireflies. So yeah, he's got a longsword now. Longsword, it does have the spirit gauge. Yeah, they're going back to Anjanath because that's the target they need to get. So it does have the spirit gauge. I don't remember seeing like the spirit combo though. I remember seeing like this move where it does like a big old stab, and I think that's supposed to be a big hit. I don't know what it does though. So they blow his face up. I don't think you can actually damage monsters in any demos, including their tech demo here. So we got pretty much confirmation of an elemental weapon being in the game with this lance, doing lightning damage. See, he picks an item right off the wall. Quick pickup of items. I wonder if that's going to mean you have to like run around to many nodes now to get the things you want. Or you have to know what they look like, because I think that's going to contribute to gathering, is you have to kind of know what the item's going to look like in the field. So like I said, there are no hunting arts, but I think there's still kind of pseudo special moves you can do, like that big ol' hammer attack that was in there. This is a shock trap, and you can see the shock trap. I think it's a shock trap. It's either a shock trap or paralysis. Oh, it might have been paralysis because of the bow gun. But yeah, the paralysis effect looks really good. It's not just big yellow bolts. It's like it's all through the monster. It's very almost subtle. And now we have Anjanath just walking around with the mount going on. So you can see that's some cluster shots, I think. It's either cluster crag. And yeah, he led the monster around, and it looks like the monster bashed its own head against the wall. I mean, at least he landed the golf swing. It wasn't on the head, really, but at least he landed it. You can still launch your allies, as seen right there. Okay, we're at the gunner perspective, and we can actually see how fast like this bowgun's gonna run around with the gun out in this video, and they're gonna show off a new special type of ammunition, and that new special type of ammunition is the one that's in the trailer. That's basically the machine gun fire. That's its own ammo type in this game. Got some more running around. Perfect time for me to take a sip of water. Yeah, we also need that Grim Dawn DLC soon, so I can actually play much more Grim Dawn again. So yeah, we got, you can see on Blue Guy's screen, oh, we're going to it. This is the machine gun ammo type. The DLC campaign for Grim Dawn is probably gonna be, I think they said something like 39 quests in total. Yeah, so they broke out a thing above Anjanath, dropped it down. Again, oh yeah, there's a big hit for that. That was the gun's wyvern fire, that big explosion. Can I go back? It's forward like 10 seconds. No, that's back. There is a like I'm playing with YouTube's controls right now. Because I wanted to go back and look at, here we go. Slash poke attack. Oh, okay, it looks like there was a poke and then he launched himself with a big overhead chop. And then you can see on Yellow Guy's screen a wyvern fire shot. Pales in comparison to the gun lances. It's actually one of the weapons I'm most interested in coming up. For this game is the gun lance, because in this game it looks like they're making the weapons flowier and easier to use, and I'm wondering how that's going to apply to the gun lance. If they're going to bring back the heat gauge, how the heat gauge is going to function in this game. If it's in it at all, I actually hope it's not. It's kind of hard to tell the spirit gauge on the longsword because the video's kind of small. But it doesn't look like they did a full spirit combo. So maybe the white, yellow, red's out of it. Do I think this game will use its own client or use Steam? Well, I know it's using the PlayStation Plus thing for PS4. Probably... Oh, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say. I'd probably lean on their own client, but... Hey, Lord of S'more. I'd probably lean on them doing their own client, but... I don't know. It's hard to tell. Are there any Capcom games on Steam right now? Oh, they might use Steam. Resident Evil 4 is on Steam. I think they might end up using Steam. It depends. If they end up using their own client, you'll probably have to pay a subscription fee, I would imagine. Maybe. Because the game also could just be, for the PC, just buy it, and that's how they're gonna recur their loss and cost, maybe? I don't know. It depends. Yeah, it's the double-edged sword of Steam, right? It boosts your sales, but you lose a cut. You lose a chunk to Steam. Hey, Sucketesh! Divinity's alright. Divinity Original Sins, I enjoyed it. A little. I enjoyed some aspects. Didn't enjoy others. Yeah, Heavy Bowgun, Lord of S'more looks great. Yep, they did it. Like I said, Gunlance, part of the reason it's so low tier in like Generations and 4U and I think even maybe Double Cross is because those games favor like fast movement, right? Gunlance doesn't really have a lot of movement abilities. So it's like, in this game where everything moves smoother and easier, I wonder if the Gunlance is gonna get a just like de facto buff. Who knows? Okay, so that was the demo they did. Game looks really awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was reluctant a little bit with that trailer. I think a lot of people were, but after actually seeing the game in action, I can't wait for it. I look at Generations now and I'm like, I don't know if I want to play this anymore. Just because of the way this game looks. Like, in my head, this is what I imagine, what I felt like the older Monster Hunters were, right? Because you think of something like, I don't know, Voltron, the old TV show, the old cartoon, the old one, and you're like you have this memory of old shows like that where you thought they were awesome when you were a kid, and you watch them now and it's like, wow, this is really bad and kind of embarrassing that I like this. But you take things like Voltron Legendary Defender, which is like, they made the show the way you remember the show. And that's kind of how I view this game. This is how you remember Monster Hunter, more than what Monster Hunter actually is. Yeah, that too. Lord of S'more mentions that they're adding moves to all of the weapons that we haven't seen before, which the Greatsword showed off earlier in the demo. So if we go... like when he first starts fighting Anjanath. No, where Anjanath goes enraged. Let's go... because he gets... We'll go right after that mount. Yeah, so right after this mount, you'll see a bunch of Greatsword moves that don't exist right now. Yeah, the shoulder charge. I mentioned that as a very specific one. So that's your mount finisher. Standard move. Big charge, misses it. Quicker big charge. Follow up little charge. Current Greatsword doesn't really have that. I think in the first fight he does that little shoulder barge thing. It's hard to find like certain things in that. I mean, you just gotta own for it. But yeah, you do a roll and it looks like you can do a little shoulder tackle. So I'm hoping all the weapons get some good new moves. Like the hammer had that big, like, whirling hammer strike off the cliff. So it looks like we're getting things where you could maybe get into positions to do some very big hits, but it's also like there are no hunting arts, which I think is actually kind of a good thing. I like hunting arts, but they're a little too video gamey for a video game. Random Grim Dawn question. Is there a recipe for every legendary? No. There are recipes for a lot of legendary helmets, though. Specifically for sets. In fact, I think most of the sets that have helmets, their helmet is a crafted legendary. So you gotta wait for the recipe for that to drop. Or ask a friend to do it. Yeah, this does remind me of Brave GS a lot, Loris Moore. It's pretty good looking. Like, they show a little lance and a little heavy bowgun. Heavy bowgun, like, reminds me a lot of, it's after, it's right. Heavy bowgun is actually a while into this video, isn't it? Because they're still using a bow, yellow guy. Bow looks pretty standard. Looks like you can move around while you're charging it, which is a good advantage. Trying to find a spot with heavy bowgun actually fighting. So they blow up the face. Okay, here we go. Heavy bowgun. I know it's in the corner now, but they swap it out. Heavy bowgun looks a lot like Brave style right now, because Brave style has like the roll, and then you do the run around, and it almost looks like that. Oh, there's a new mortar shot that they just used. It's a new ammo type. But yeah. I'm kind of watching the heavy bowgun panel right now. Heavy bowgun screen. But yeah, moving and shooting. That's a new thing. Wilson belt recipe. Oh, yeah. There are also just other random legendaries throughout the game that drop recipes. Yeah, hammer looks pretty much the same. Yeah, so we got the heavy bowgun guy up now. So you can see when he rolls, there's like a little, like, there is a little, like, footsie movement you can do sometimes, it looks like. You know they're in water right now, and that makes it hard to see. Oh, and now I think they're climbing and the monster's moving. Water looks really great. Oh, there's no underwater combat. There are chunks of the game that go underwater, though. Like, you could see in the trailer, like, the hunter dives in a stream and goes, like, underneath some bramble and back up. So there's no swimming combat. There's no underwater combat. Yeah, I think all of the weapons, Lord of Smar, are just a little bit faster now. Oh, the spirit gauge does turn white. Okay, we got that. Spirit gauge turns white, so that means there's probably the white, yellow, red. It looks like it sheathes faster. Well, I mean, it also looks like it attacks faster, but everything looks like it attacks faster. The game just looks a lot smoother. It still has, like, that... Yeah, there we go. It still has that, like, that arcadey feel where... Like, you still have to take into account... Oh, missed it. You still have to take into account the timings on your animations, but you you don't have to deal with like the just slowness, the clunkiness. Oh, look at that. Nice, Lotusmore. Thank you for pointing that out. If you look at the sharpness gauge on the weapons, it actually you can actually see it decaying over time. So you can see his sharpness gauge in the about right here on his screen. You can see that the bar is about half full on green, so that's going to be good. Seems like they're doing a lot of quality of life changes in this. Because this is a lot more interesting, a way to track a monster than a paintball. Because you actually have to be involved in collecting the samples to do this. And it seems like they're going to provide you with more opportunities to actually do a hunt to collect these things, instead of just like, well, I spawned in, what, Ancestral Steppes. Everything spawns in Area 2. The Rathian area, / Ketcha area, / who else spawns in there? I think Gora does on like low rank, Generations at least. Maybe in 4U he spawned there. It's like, it looks like they're gonna do something more dynamic for finding a monster, rather than just, and I'm sure you can still do this, just know where the monster's gonna be and know where it likes to run. They might have specific launchers, but I think ledges are still going to be the main thing. Like, I don't think you're going to get, like, a default, I do this move, this move, this move, I launch myself in the air. Lotusmore. Lotusmore said, it looks like weapons have their specific mounting attacks. It looks like you have to still find a way to get airborne to do them. Like, that big hammer barreling roll attack, that was like, I think he jumped off an edge and released his charge. Like, that was the aerial version of the tornado swing. So unless there are ways you can activate aerial attacks, though, that could be a thing. I don't want to dismiss that idea outright and sound like a jerk. But yeah, I think the game looks great. I think this is was it a pitfall trap they threw down, or was that just an environment thing? It's hard to tell a little bit when we're not in control of the game, because like everything's so new. But yeah, this game looks great. Early 2018, so it's not even that far off. By this time next year, we'll probably be playing this game. And he's carving the foot. Some things never change. The mantles are new. There are a bunch of different ones. You do like a you throw the mantle on, it lasts for a while, and then you pull it off and it goes on cooldown. Yeah, Lotusmore. I think the longsword at the end of the spirit combo, it might be an option, it might not. Where he did a stab. I think if you hit the stab, you launch yourself in the air and you do a big old cut. I think that's what that was earlier. So there might be ways to do that, to get certain attacks getting aerial properties, sort of like how the lance charge was in Monster Hunter 4U Generations Double Cross, where that little hop stab you do in the lance charge, like that is an aerial attack. Oh yeah. Okay, so I think that's gonna cover that. Oh yeah, I will mention that it's getting a worldwide release on PS4 and Xbox One. So everyone gets it at the same time. They're just pooling the entire Hunter base. PC is going to come later. They haven't specified how much later. I am probably going to do the PS4 version. And I don't think there's going to be a cross-platform thing, though. So people who have the Xbox version can't play with the people with the PS4 version. Because it's going to be like PlayStation Plus is the access, so I think it's going to be like dedicated PlayStation servers. Same thing with the PC version. If they were clever, they'd probably come up with some way for you to cloud save your Hunter. But hell, I'll play both versions. It's not like I haven't had to restart a Monster Hunter before. If Double Cross does not get a localization, I may have to pick up Double Cross in Japanese and totally restart my Hunter for that game. Just because, I mean, that's just something to do. It's something that I have to maybe consider myself. Just keep covering Monster Hunter. Because it's going to come out on, that's going to come out on the Switch, and Switch isn't region locked, so I could play that game. Just got to wait for that game to come out, which is, I think, it's in July or August. There's so many games that are coming out that I want to play, that are new, that would be great games to stream, but they're months out, and that's annoying. That doesn't really help stream/YouTube health, does it? But still. Yeah, Ronage, it is very smart for them to bring it to the PC, because I think with the way gaming is going, I think it's gonna be, unless you're like Nintendo and you're in your own little Nintendo world, I think the concept of exclusivity is going to become a hindrance more than a benefit. I'm looking at you, Bloodborne. Looking at you. I'd actually probably be elbow deep in all of the Souls games, if I had access to Bloodborne. I'd probably jump on all the Souls games after that. Yes, Loris Moore, I should probably make that distinction. The localization, they just have said they don't know if they're going to do it. They have no plans to do it, but they never said they won't do it. So there was a post about how they had no plans, and people just assumed that was a no. So just to clarify that, Double Cross, it's a on getting localized still. I think they'd rather focus on Monster Hunter World, and I know I would rather have them focusing on Monster Hunter World. In all honesty, I would much rather have them focus on World and get this game going, because there are people who either tried Try and didn't like it, or played Try in a limited fashion, and then there are people who maybe played For You a little bit, but never got into it. And there are people who've never heard of Monster Hunter. And all of those groups of people have gotten their attention pulled to this game. Like I had a friend that I played Try with a bunch, and he could never get into the higher end monsters in Try, because he just didn't like playing the game, and he got upset at the way the ranking system worked in Try. And he never came back to the series because of it. And it's like, this game got his attention, and that's a good thing. That's getting people's attention, and they're doing a PC release too. Yeah, it was on the subreddit, Loris Moore, that someone posted a thing where they said they're not going to localize it. The subreddit freaked out, and I was like, oh, well, we're screwed again. But then they released a statement later that they said, it's not that we're not doing it, it's just we have no plans to do it, so we're non-committal on a Double Cross localization. So that doesn't mean it won't happen, it just means it's... Alright, so here's the outro for YouTube. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. On stream, we're going to be playing Shovel Knights after I get some more water, and get a lot more water.